Right, guys. So, this video, let's talk about 5 simple, natural ways that you can implement in your own life to naturally reduce cortisol levels. Now, this does not make cortisol bad. Your body produces it naturally for a reason. But when it's chronically elevated, you can run into problems. And I find that you're going to get better results. You're going to get more mileage out of this if you focus on these 5 kind of big ticket items. They helped me a lot. So, I want to share them with you. So, let's hop right into it. First and foremost is foods you're putting in your body. It has a huge effect on your cortisol levels. So what does that actually mean for you? Well, first and foremost, you have to move away from extreme diets. When I was experiencing the biggest issues with cortisol levels and stress hormones, it was because I was keto and carnivore and ultra low carb for almost 20 years. I was doing fasting every day. I would only eat in an 8-hour window. So that put a ton of stress on my backup systems. Your body wants so badly to be able to have glucose to run all of its systems that it will actually use your own body's tissues to make that. That's a stress-based response. Cortisol is part of that. So if we can move away from extreme diets, that's a very simple thing to do. And for a lot of people, that means introducing some healthy carbohydrates. When I say carbs, people kind of get wigged out because they think I'm talking processed carbs. That is not it. I'm talking natural carbs, whether it be fruits, potatoes, those sorts of things. Okay. If you tolerate them, it can be very beneficial for bringing down your cortisol levels. I'll include links in the description to studies that back this up. So feel free to check those out if that's what you're looking at. The other thing is micronutrients. It's one thing to eat a well-balanced diet with protein, fruit, or protein, carbs, fats, but also making sure you're getting a micronutrient-rich diet. For example, organ meats, things like oysters, those sorts of things can really add micronutrients, which can help as well. The next thing that you need to focus on is what I would call sensible activity. What I get when people come to me and they're experiencing high cortisol levels, and I do a bit of digging, what I find out is that they're maybe doing a lot of low exertion, but high time aerobic activity. Like they're training for a marathon or a half marathon or an Ironman, or they're doing a lot of CrossFit workouts. Now exercise is extremely important. Okay. You want to be active and exercising, but when you go to the extremes, just like diet, you're going to have these chronically elevated cortisol levels. So if you're in that situation, my encouragement would be to back off. You're already stressed. Trying to exercise your way out of stress is probably not going to work. It's probably only going to compound the problem. That doesn't mean you don't want to exercise or have activity, but you need to be sensible about it. So a great option is to get outside and go for a walk or ruck, put a little bit of weight on and go rucking, do some body weight exercises. Just be sensible. The activity is a very good thing, but you don't want to get carried away with the activity because that is a huge stressor in people's lives. The next thing, and I kind of touched on that, is just generally lifestyle things, right? Well, the reason I mentioned diet and activity first is because those are kind of your bedrocks. It's easy if you have high cortisol levels and you're anxious and you're stressed out, people go, well, you just need to sleep better. Well, you can't sleep better unless you have the right nutrients, unless you have the right kind of activity levels. And so now we've reached this point where you should be able to institute some of these lifestyle things. So number one, you want to go outside. Getting exposure to nature, particularly if you live in an urban environment, can be extremely healthy for lowering cortisol levels. Even 20 minutes outside in nature can decrease cortisol levels almost 10%. Okay. Circadian rhythm is extremely important for decreasing cortisol levels. If you think about it, melatonin and cortisol have this kind of inverse relationship. So if you have higher melatonin levels at night, which you should to help you sleep, that will keep cortisol levels low. But it's difficult to have healthy melatonin levels naturally, not supplement wise, if you're not getting outside, getting sunlight on your eyes first thing in the morning to let your brain know, okay, the sun's come up, we can kind of kick some of these things into place. So getting outside, walking outside, getting into nature are very simple, very important lifestyle things that you can do that can help out quite a bit. Okay. The next thing, and this is something I'm not good at, I need to get better at, but there's a lot of evidence that meditation. Okay. No, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I just admitted I'm not great at it, but there are plenty of resources on YouTube all over the internet to help you work through some of these meditation things. And it doesn't have to be sitting like a monk with your legs crossed. It can be, different ways of doing it from the research I've done and the few times I've done it. It is helpful. I need to be better about it, but there is plenty of research backing up meditation can help in that regard. The last area I want to touch on, because I think it's the least important, but sometimes it can be that little thing that helps it, is there are supplements that can help lower cholesterol, or lower cortisol levels. And I'm going to just give you a few of the big ticket ones that I think are important. There are some supplements that have shown to help, but I think those supplements have more downsides than they're worth. I don't think they're worth taking just to lower cortisol. So in no particular order, I think vitamin C would be a good one to try. I would do probably 1,000 milligrams a day. Obviously, it's much better if you're going to get your vitamin C from food, but if you had to supplement, vitamin C would be a good one. So would magnesium. And your dosage is going to vary. I started out with magnesium glycinate, maybe 250 milligrams a day, somewhere in there. Again, you're going to have to experiment a bit. I don't think there's a perfect dose. The other one would potentially be ginkgo. I have not personally tried that one. I've heard good reports back from it. Some other ones that people commonly mention, but I'm not as big of a fan of, is ashwagandha, which is more of an adaptogen, and it can help lower cortisol. However, I've seen too many side effects from ashwagandha as far as people doing it long term, and they begin to become somewhat apathetic. They just don't have drive or care anymore. Not across the board, but I've seen that enough that I wouldn't encourage you to take that. So if you're going to go with supplements, those are the few that I think would be good options to try. But the bottom line is cortisol levels are usually elevated primarily due to these first three: what you're eating, your activity levels, what you're doing, and the stressors in your life. We want to remove stressors. That includes how you're eating, overactivity, trying to exercise your way out of your stress, and as well as some of the lifestyle things in the meditation. So let me know in the comments, guys, other video topics that would be helpful for me to cover. Make sure, if you're looking for other non-drug, non-surgery options, these are natural therapies that have helped me and a lot of other people. I cover those in my free checklist. So go to my website, link in the description, go grab that. A lot of people have found that helpful. Okay. Speaking of helpful, I hope this was. See you in the next one.